you? Me and Marion are here again. We've just gone through this whole palaver of getting on this thing, but at least we've got the microphones working today.
We do. Hi, Karen.
Hello, my darling. Well, we're here now. Hooray! And part 2. I'm really looking forward to this. I really enjoyed our hangout last week, Miriam.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it as well. And so we go with part 2, huh? This time.
Yeah, and it should be all okay this time because obviously we had to do it through our phones and the recording wasn't that good, but the picture was good, just the recording was a little bit off, but now we've got that sorted out.
Great. Okay, let's see.
So you're going to unleash Holland on us. Ta-da!
All right, I will start screen sharing. Let me see how that was again. Oh, yeah. No, that's not it. Oh gosh, there we go again.
Full screen?
I think here it was, and then.
All right.
General, no. Video, no. No. Oh geez, now I forgot again.
It's on full screen, isn't it?
Oh, right here. Stop presenting. Let me switch that one off first. Entire screen. Yes, there we go. And share. Okay. Now, oh yeah, I'm still visible. This one I'll hide.
There you go. It's all presenting, but your camera's off. That's
okay, so you can see this one, huh?
Yep, we're there.
Okay. Am I still on the side there?
Yeah, you're on the side. There's 2 of me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that the last time. I thought I wasn't in the picture. But okay, I'm here.
To be honest, if this works, I only need to be on once, actually, because I only come on twice, because I think I've got to get the, what do you call it? I've got to get the voice and the video. But now there only needs to be 1 of me, but you've got 2 of me today. Sorry about that. Anyway, here we go. Part 2, West Friesland.
Yes, Amsterdam, old Amsterdam. Oh, before we start, I just want to say, I just want to mention something else about the chart, the eclipse, because it is an opportunity. It's not something carved in stone that will happen.
I mean, this weekend, what you said last week about Easter.
Yes. No, not Easter.
Mickey's feeling really good, so
exactly. The eclipse will be on the 30th of April, so that's the end of this month. Jupiter is in its own rulership, and Venus is exalted. Now, those are the 2 benefics, and the problem that can occur with that is that you have such a good feeling and things are going so well that you just go sit back and let it pass by without actually using the opportunity. So it is a very favorable time to really set the intent in a positive way, and that's what I just wanted to add. So
everybody's got to be positive now for a few days. It'll make everything much better.
With a strong intent, especially during the eclipse on the 30th of April.
Right.
Yeah. All right. There we go. Old Amsterdam. So this one is going to be a little bit more personal than the last one. And I had it already in the planning, and I will go a little bit back to refresh some things. So there we have my dad.
That's you and your dad.
Yes, and it was quite a nice. The last recording we did, it was on his birthday, but yeah, he passed away at the end of 2015. Anyway, so he made a book with the city wall, this little book, and I just wanted to show you how high the city wall is. If you look at this, yeah.
Yeah.
So the water was far lower than what it is now, basically. So and as I mentioned, on each of those points, you will find.
Could you just 1 second? You know that bit with the windmill? I went and looked Brighton up again, and I've got a video coming out. There was about 30 windmills in Brighton.
Yeah, you said so the last time.
So it's the same sort of thing they've done in Brighton. That It's not actually the same because it's not a city. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's a city of something, but there was loads of windmills there. I just thought that was very relevant considering you have loads of windmills to take
Great.
water out.
Yeah. And someone in the chat mentioned as well, I think it was Paul Cook. I was subscribed to him and I checked his later stuff. Wow, that's absolutely fascinating what is going on down there. Eh?
Yeah, he's good, Paul Cook. He goes, easy,
Yeah,
tigers.
Easy Tigers, brilliant, absolutely fascinating stuff. I love it. You know, we are all doing our little part and we're all digging out like questions actually. We're adding more questions. Like, this is not really, you know, they don't have told us the real story. We only have questions on our past. Anyway, so each of these points will have one of those
Yeah, with a
stones.
windmill on it.
Yeah, that's where
That's a lot of windmills to build, though, isn't it?
yeah, and who built those? You know when? That's like I don't take the. Okay, these were the strongholds. I showed this last time as well. Then here you can see again a picture of how high the city wall was.
Yeah.
And then there is here. This is one of the last pieces of the city wall that is still intact. So you see how high the water is now. It's a huge difference. So the water was far lower. Then we have one of the windmills that is still standing. This is in the east of Amsterdam.
Wow.
And they have a brewery here. They have really nice beer. Very good beer here. Not the commercial one, but really nice one. That's nice. Yeah, so I'm making a little bit commercial there. This is the storage again. And yeah, indeed, you can see how big this was. This is just absolutely enormous. So this was 1694, and then it collapsed. This is an image of 1822, so it must have been collapsed somewhere in between. And I believe this is somewhere, this is still standing. I'm not sure if that is now the museum for ships. As I said the last time, I will definitely dive into the physical archives because I got a lot of trouble going into the internet archives and university archives of the archaeology in Amsterdam, and my computer kept on switching off and giving me trouble. So I don't think they like it if you really go in there somehow. I don't know. That was just my feeling. Anyway, so here we go. This image I didn't put in the last time, but you can see with how small these people are who are excavating the area, digging out the mud, and how big the area was that they're excavating. It's massive, you know, and who is to say when this was built? We only know when the floods were.
That looks like it's been flooded, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it has, absolutely. And this is one of the statues that they have dug out, two jumping lions. I have no idea where they are now, but I thought I'd put them in. So they must be big. Our past must have been so beautiful.
Yeah, Antiquitech, very.
Yeah. So here we have an old photo again of the Waag. And I found an image. This was somewhere in the 70s, and I found another image where they dug away, and you can see it has. It is more deeper than that it shows, so it is taller.
Wow.
Yeah. And I don't believe they start putting these stones here on the mat. So just layers and layers and layers. Okay, again, Spinoza. What I forgot to mention as well the last time of Spinoza is the word equality. He was very much on he was questioning the equality of, he found all living beings are equal, but we were not how you say, approached as being equal, of course. So that's why his book was very controversial for the time, because the people in power at the time, and nothing has changed actually, they they don't find us just common people equal to them, you know, they feel they're above. So that's why this book on uh, ethics is very good to read. He is a very good yeah, philosopher, thinker of the 17th century. So I thought it was a nice one to just add in there, because he is a very important figure in the past. He was actually on our old money when we still had the guilder. He was his portrait was on the 1,000 guilders. It's a little bit of an oxymoron on for what he was standing for, I guess. So, oh yeah, this is where we left off the last time. Now this is quite interesting. All the flooded houses. This is the old. No, oh, I thought it was the old post office, but it is not. This is the old post office. This canal, this is the new Nieuwzuid-Voorburgwal. If you carry on this direction, you get to the central station. Now trams are going here, and the Palace on the Dam is more down here to the.
So that's not a canal anymore.
No, no. There were many more canals, and they've all been dammed, as they say, filled in, and you can see that this bridge is a little bit out of proportion. I think the water was far lower. It looks really like, you know, a strange looking bridge so low. You hardly can go under it. Now this building, the old post office, is quite out of place. They say it was, I must have written it down somewhere when it was built, but you can see how big are these doors and how tiny these people are here.
Wow,
so yeah, there's a lot that has broken down. Oh yeah, it was demolished in 1897. Oh, I must have written it down earlier when it was built. It was nearly 150 years old, which I doubt. Again, I can't say for sure, but I have my doubts. And here you can see again, stairways going up to the first floor. Here, this must have been the ground floor. Same with this one.
right.
Next, now this is also a flooder, quite clear. This was built between 1882 and 1884, as they say. Now here we get a little bit personal, because my parents were living here and my brother was a toddler, so I must have been conceived in this house. But on the first floor, when they were living there was a woman, a Holocaust survivor, and she was very paranoia, so she barricaded the whole stairways with barbed wire.
So look at those top windows under those, they're amazing.
Yeah, it's an amazing house. It's the house with the leprechauns on top, you can see here. And it has angels. Let me see here, you can see them
beautiful,
sitting.
isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's totally out of place from the time, actually. I have no idea if it is older or not. And here this looks like a dragon on the corners. And they have an apple. They throw an apple or a red ball
Or
to
griffins.
each other. Griffins, that's what I actually thought first. And I tried to zoom in and ask my daughter, but I will go. They have a shield. They have a shield up here.
Right, yeah.
But I will go out with a camera soon into town and make some photos that you cannot find on the internet. We'll get some more stuff. Yeah, so this is an old photo of it, and you can see here also, like, looks like it was much deeper. You know? an old drawing of it, and you can see a lot of rubble on the street. So that I don't know, because they look like authentic, but you don't know. They can just build it in. You have no idea how they created a whole new history. The whole
So in that old picture, it was the mud flood then.
It could be, because there were lots of floods, a lot of floods. This church was opposite the Kabouter house, the leprechaun house is here on this side of the street, and this one was here. Now here we get, it becomes kind of a joke. This church was actually supposed to be a cathedral, or was it a cathedral before? And I have no idea. This is what it was supposed to look like, and this is what it was. It was built between 1871 1899. They were very, very busy in the 19th
You know what though?
century.
You know those ceilings? In England they call that Normandy.
It's beautiful,
and that would be
isn't
the
it?
10th century.
Yeah, and
Well, 11th century.
yeah, I don't think they were able to do this in this time. It's like, you know, I've got only questions. And then if you see, so it was finished at 1899. So it's beautiful. This is the leprechaun house, and this is it's massive. Built only in a few years' time. And this is the architect.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, he can just hold himself up under all the knighthoods. Yeah, he's a bit of a creepy dude. Also, this guy standing there, creepy dude, and I will refer to him from now on as creepy dude, because the list of buildings that are on his name are just like, wow, actually impossible. He started off with renovating churches in other cities and everything. That is something, okay, I can understand. Renovating after floods, yes, but physically building them, or I mean, not him, but drawing them and get them all worked up. So
his medals look amazing, but he looks a little bit ropey.
Yeah, it's a bit of, he has a lot of buildings on his name. You will see, it's like impossible. Okay, so due to dilapidation, which is like, how, you know, if you see all the other buildings that he has built, how come then this one went? It was a Catholic church, so yeah, the Catholic.
Do you notice those bits on the outside of the church? That's like Notre Dame.
Yeah, he was. That's what I say. He was for this one inspired by the Notre Dame. But the Notre Dame has to do a lot with the Templars, and if you look at
And
all the
that's the
medals,
same as Westminster Abbey in London. And there's one in Marlborough. There's loads of churches.
exactly.
I think Lancing College near Worthing, Brighton, is like that as well, with those legs that come out of the building.
Yeah. Yeah, they're beautiful. They're machines. Huh? There's something, but I don't get it that he built it in a short time and then look here.
Do you think that one's got its steeple missing, by the way, Miriam?
Yeah, that was already off.
Mm.
They say, or they build it on later. That's why I have my questions. Was it not bigger before, and they broke already some parts down? Did they renovate it? What happened?
Such a shame. It's such a beautiful building. Why would they want to do this?
Well, there was they said it was unsafe.
Right.
But I don't take that. I don't believe that. It was like only 71 years old. Can you believe that? I don't think so.
No.
I think it's much older. So that's one of the things I've got my questions on with this one. So now this is what we have instead. Isn't it lovely? Oh, God. Yeah. So nice what they put in instead of it, isn't it?
Hmm.
Okay, so this is the Rijksmuseum. Also on his name, the creepy dude.
Oh, do you see the turrets? I mean, those little towers. What? They're different shapes
Yeah,
at the
these
top.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Rijksmuseum is massive. It's so also built in the same time frame,
Wow.
between 1876 and 1885. Oh, right, really. Here, this is the Koepel Church, which I will get back later on. We'll get to that. It's not there anymore either. But I mean, this Pierre, gosh, now I forgot his name. Let me just go back because yeah, I can refer to him as creepy dude. But let me get his name because he is quite a big name. In fact, Pierre Kuipers. Pierre Kuipers. Okay, so we Pierre Kuipers in mind. Bye bye. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, Rijksmuseum. So he created the Rijksmuseum as well. Pierre Kuipers is on his name. There's no images of anything of all these buildings being built. Same as anywhere else. You know, they say they were all built in a short time, but there's no images of them actually being physically built.
Right. That's a nice picture, that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it had all the details and built in such a short time as well, like, you know, 7 years or something. Right. While they were building all the other stuff as well. Now then we have the central station, also on his name, also Pierre Kuipers. Also his drawings. So this man must have been a magician, being able to draw all these things. And where?
That's your main train station in Amsterdam, yeah?
And where did they
Because
get
I've been to that. I caught a train from the airport, and it was a leaning train. It went, double decker.
Oh, nice. Yeah. It's beautiful building, but you know, also built in the same time frame. So where did they get all the manpower? Where did they get all the, 1881, 1889 it was built. Also like short time. At the same time building the Rijksmuseum, all the churches, all the other buildings, and probably many, many more, not only in Amsterdam. So this looks to me like a renovation work. Not like the finishing touches of having this building built.
Right.
So many questions, many questions on that. This was in the pictures from the 70s when they started building the metro. They had to dig down so you can see. Oh, sorry, I went back. So you can see the foundations of it. It goes way deeper.
Wow.
It's quite nice to find them. Yeah, I don't know. This looks like something being filled in. I had a feeling like, hey, what was there? It looks like windows. You know, I can understand a massive renovation operation in the 19th century, but really physically have built all these buildings, those massive buildings, it's nearly impossible. Where are all the people that built them?
And the machinery.
And the machinery and the how you say, the stones and everything. Okay, so when you come out from the central station, this is what you see, the St. Nicholas Church. And that is, the architect was Adrianus Blijs, and he started as a draftsman for Pierre Kuipers. Now they got trouble with each other or whatever, and then he built this one. The first stone was laid in 1885.
That's pretty as well, isn't it?
Yeah, also same time. And here was also at, oops, this building. There was a beautiful, beautiful monument. When I was a kid, I was living a bit further on. It burned down. It was a monument, and the owner of it wanted to make a hotel, but they couldn't make a hotel of it, and it was quite common. A lot of buildings burned down in the
Oh,
70s. And I think they, how you say that, they really instigated the fires because for the insurance. So they got the insurance and they could put up hotels. Like, what a
terrible, isn't it?
ugly thing. So this, they built it in 2 years' time.
Wow.
Took them really only 2 years. This is the
Maybe
inside.
they made so many of them. They had them all in sets all ready to go up.
Something, or a whole magicians guilds that they just swish their wands and hoppa, they're all there.
Even if there was only one church, say, you could say how amazing it is, but it's not. Amsterdam's full of loads of gems.
Loads, yeah. And
like everywhere else, we've got many more than one buildings, loads of them.
Exactly, and they were all built at the same time.
Wow.
In a short time, and not so long ago. I mean, really. You know,
well, they put Notre Dame down as the 11th into the 1200s.
Right. Yeah, that is something I was thinking about. How the Notre Dame, I think it is in Notre Dame. Oh no, that is in Cologne in Germany, where they have the seat of Charlemagne. And that was in like the 8th century.
Do you when you look at that, do you think it looks a bit Middle Eastern?
This, yeah, it does, huh? With all the tiles. More like a kind of a mosque, but it is not. It's a Catholic church, I believe. Yeah, but if we take the 1,000 years away that they have been creating, then the time frame of
they only built them yesterday.
Yeah, no, well, then actually the time of Charlemagne, Karel de Grote, Charles the Great, this is all the same dude, and his offsprings, the Karelingen, is not even that long ago. So that's it's a time frame I always get very stuck on, because you know that's like you learn at school how great they were, but then if you I got always nauseous. I developed school sickness at that time, and we got this period of history. Like no, you know, these people weren't great at all. Just enslaving us all, rather. I mean, yeah. It took them 2 years, huh, to build.
Yeah, only 2 years.
Yeah, great. So quick. Yeah, this is also very...
They just got their magic sticks out and went, ding!
Yeah, they must have. They absolutely must have magic sticks. Yeah. Okay, so...
Can I ask you one other thing as we're just here? I can see one in front of me. Do you think the tops of your buildings look quite Mexican-like?
Oh, I don't know.
Just the top bit, you know, with the... I always call them the Flemish buildings. I mean, you see them here in the UK as well, the tops. I just wondered, they look very Mexican-like, just the tops of the buildings.
You mean these oops, wait.
Sorry, just going back. They've gone the other way now.
You mean these tops?
Yeah, that's it, those ones, yeah.
Okay, never thought of that. Never thought of that. Anyway, this is the Prins Hendrikkade.
Cool, look at the size of that one.
I was born here.
Oh.
So, yeah, this building is broken down, and it is the front row of the Amsterdam. This is what you see. That is the tower. This is where the Nicholas Church is supposed to be. And then the house where I was born must be somewhere. I don't think this is correct. You never know when they drew this, but this was the South Sea, so it looked out over the sea. So that's quite interesting. And then here, this is the house where I was born. Now, when we got a new owner, we had the second, third, fourth, and fifth floor, so it was very nice. When we got a new landlord, the whole house, the whole front got renewed. And when Sylvie from the BITCHUTE Channel years ago came up with that, the first thing on the one of the 1700 or the 1600 is not there, but is an I or a J. I remembered because my dad said, yeah, this thing, oh, where is my thing? This thing needed to be renewed because there was one missing. I was like, right. So it's true, the whole history. This must have been much older than what they say. And I've seen more houses in Amsterdam that have like the numbers on it. This number, 16 or 17, and then it's not a 1, it's a J or an I. And you can see it. Yeah. So, yeah, this is a new building, one of the few new buildings they put up there. It's a pity. But yeah, there's offices, and no one was living here, so we could always blast
They're still
the music.
quite high, aren't they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floors. Okay, they're not 20 or 30 floors, but they're still quite high, aren't they? 5 floors, most of the buildings.
Yeah, and high roofs. Very high roofs. Now a little bit further on, we had the Cosmos. That was, of course, it was older than this, but in between 69 and 92, it was the Cosmos, which had an incredible big influence on, say, New Age spirituality. It had a huge influence in Amsterdam. It had. Yeah, this is an old photo of all the staff. It's quite nice. I just thought I'd put it in there. They had a bookshop, you know, with spiritual books. Krishnamurti came giving lectures. There was Iyengar gave yoga. There were lamas coming. There was a sauna. There was a macrobiotic restaurant. There was one of the first health food stores. So yeah, it had a lot of influence, and was just a few houses away from where I was born. So that had a big influence on me as well. I started going to lectures from the age of 13, and that was the same year I was kicked out of school. So I think I had a different.
You got kicked out of school, Miriam?
Yeah. I was a dangerous.
How could they kick our Miriam out? Damn people!
I was a dangerous influence for the other students. That's another story.
Yeah, we'll have a hangout about that one as well. I'm joking.
Well, it was a school. Okay, it was a school that had a lot of art classes, and then suddenly the subsidy for the art classes was shut down, and we got a new lesson, and that was economics. And I was very good with algebra and calculating. That was one of my best subjects. Also, the teacher for algebra, he really was the only one that wanted me to stay at school. And I was giving a lecture to the new teacher of economics that I saw the whole system, you know. I thought I'm not going to be part of this economics because economics, I told him the pyramid system of the banks, and that it only will enslave more people. Yeah, I was 13, I don't know. I saw the whole picture and I told him, and that was it. I had to leave school. So yeah.
Good for you, Miriam.
I didn't want to be part of that. Okay, now we're getting to some very interesting part.
They don't look that old, do they? It says 1600.
They date from about 1600s, but they might be older. I don't know. And there
Wow.
are at the moment, at present, only about
Look how many
600
floors.
left.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well, they're spread around town everywhere. These are warehouses, and there are many of them. Now they're all like fancy yuppie
Wow, and they
looking.
built those in the 1600s.
Yeah, or maybe even before. I don't know what time, but now, yeah, this vrede means peace. So this building means peace. But there were warehouses for the East Indian corporations, you know, the ships traveling,
Right.
plundering all the other countries empty. And so they stored everything in here. But why I put this up is because they're all built with these massive beams.
Right. Look at that.
And this is just, yeah, now they're like loft kind of buildings. But all of them, one by one, also the house I was born in, they didn't really have these big beams, but bigger houses they do. And then the whole of all the houses around the canals, that like the circle around canals, all these old houses also have all these massive beams. Well, there were lots of trees. So then you have all the ships that were built, also
Well, we've
massive
got no
ships.
trees left, Miriam.
Exactly. That's what I'm coming to, because they tell us that Holland was like a swamp. Yeah, and when you see these roads going into the water, it was a swamp. And the floods, they all came from the rivers, not the sea.
Yeah.
So it must have been massive forests. All the masts and all these, I mean, massive ships. So
Well, supposedly, before they did all this, our weather was different. We had hotter weather.
I don't know what sort of weather it was. I don't know, but yeah, it was always quite stormy weather. But I'm sure, you know, deforestation has massive influence on the weather as well. So
Yeah.
these were, you know, I don't know how many ships were built for the East Indian sailors since the 17th century. At the same time, they made all these warehouses, houses, you name it. Look at the amount of ships. And here you can see that
Wow.
it's like massive.
Yeah, because
So
Denmark and
much built.
Holland was the way forward then. I mean, maybe people don't realise that, but Holland was where the money was.
Yeah,
Holland was where the ships were. Holland
yeah,
was where the travelling was. It was all Holland.
yes, yeah. They just deforested Holland completely, and they tell us it was a swamp. And people were living in huts. Yeah, right. So then you had a 4-day battle of 1666, which could have been also like what they do now, you know, uh, how you say, look at the other way, look somewhere else, because you had London being the fire of London. London burned down at the same year. The Academy of Science in Paris was put up the same year. So there was a lot going on, and these were all these knighthoods, you know, all these dudes with all their um, uh, how do you say, the Templars. So many ships must have been going down. Yeah, going down.
Well, how
all
could you
these
be
trees.
the head of everything with your technology and everything, and now not?
Yeah, exactly. There was so much going on here. You see, that year or that century, there were many floods. All they say that the dikes broke. Yeah, because the rivers, they were just flooding everything. One flood after the other. No wonder. With deforesting just the whole place. So it's, you know, it's quite clear. They just chopped all the trees down, and then there was no, the whole root system was fucked up. Excuse me. And the rivers, they just flooded the whole place. To me, that's quite clear. So this was the tower that you saw on the right picture, on the right side of the Rijksmuseum. This was for a long time also a mosque, and that was built between, they say, 1879, 1884, also on the same time. Oh yeah, the architects, they only know when he was born, and for the rest, nothing.
Yeah.
So, okay, who was he? Where did he come? Yeah, okay, we know where he was born, but for the rest, no information, and he just drew this, and they
Well, if you took
made
the
it.
steeple off that, it still looked Middle Eastern, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's the very steeple that makes it look different, just the very top of the steeple.
Yeah, no, and yeah, this was a mosque, so you know, it's, yeah. I remember that still being there. It was big, black, dark thing with like massive, big doors as well, next to the Vondelpark. And now they have, here, look at that, how big.
Yeah.
Here's the
Quite big,
Vondelpark.
isn't it?
Yeah. Here's Vondelpark. So here's Leidsplein. But yeah, broken down. It's not there anymore. Now it's a big hotel as usual.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, this is a funny story. We had now Apple. This is the Apple store now, and a while back there was a kidnapping. What was it? And someone tried to rob it, and then he not a kidnapping, gosh, a hostage. And there's a whole thing. But you know, also like complete fake. I don't get it. I don't take it. Don't believe it. That's quite a funny story, but okay, that's that. This is the old theater. Okay. Now the other one, this one is not there anymore. So I'll go back here. This one was built later. I've performed in here as well with my dad when I was working with him. After I was kicked out of school, I started working with my dad on stage. It's nice. I changed my surname so people wouldn't know I was his daughter.
Did it work?
Yeah, it worked. So if they were writing about me, they were writing about me, not because I was, you know, I saw it with other people, the sons and daughters from other famous people. And before you know it, you know, I was young, you know, you're a teenager. Before you know, you get gobbled up in these stupid tabloids. So I avoided that. Yeah, this theater, they say, was built from wood, the inside, in 1871. Also built around the same time as all the other buildings.
Yeah, it looks a bit more Roman-like,
These
doesn't
people
it?
were absolutely magicians, absolutely amazing. And it got a stone surrounding, built in 1874. So it's nice, great. So they did it in a short time. Excellent. Beautiful building. Leidsplein. So this is also no water anymore. They closed this water off as well. And there was also the Overtoom is on that way. It's also water, it's not there anymore. I mean, massive. Stone, but wood on the inside. This is the Leidse Straat, Leidsplein. And due to a firecracker, this building burned down. Can you believe it?
Tell you what.
Because of a firecracker. They were setting off some fireworks. But you can see here also. It looks like there's also like windows below.
Yeah.
So that, you know, it's like, okay, now we get to the concert building. I can go back a little bit, take this one back, you see. But yeah, for sure, you know, the wood inside and the curtains, whatever, they could have got fire.
The balcony's
But
not high enough.
yeah, it's out of proportion. It doesn't look right. It looks like...
It is amazing in all these old buildings. They always have things on the top, whether it's urns or statues. There's always things on top of the buildings, which are all gone now.
Yeah, yeah, it was so much more beautiful. It's unbelievable, you know, like what we have lost. It's so sad. But yeah, if you look at this, the foundation, these windows here, it's like it's missing a whole piece. See? If it was like this long, it makes much more sense. But okay, now we go to the most weirdest joke of them all. This was a drawing done by H.W. Byring. He painted this one. This is the concert building, right in the middle of the meadows.
Right.
It's right, you know, like, really? Okay, then we get some photographs. Makes sense, huh, to build it there on like a swampy kind of ground. Also Pierre Kuipers. He had of course a big architect's office. So it was on the tables, the plans for the building were ready at this time. So then it was ready in 86. Also the Rijksmuseum, it's actually facing the Rijksmuseum, so it's on the same square.
It almost looks like about a floor is under the ground.
Yeah, it's like it's missing a whole big piece. So what I guess is at these times they were just cleaning them up. But anyway, they say they built it. Okay, in 1888 it was built. Now this is how it looks now. Like beautiful artworks also on it. Yeah. And all in such a short time, eh? They all built it in a short time. Yeah, here you can see clearly it is like out of proportion. As if it's missing, oops, sorry. Oh, there we go, go back. As if it is missing a whole big piece here. You see? So, yeah. Now here, oops, sorry. Here you can see that the concert building is here. And this was the building for the World Exhibition in 1895. So that was also going on. They were building for an exhibition. No idea what they were building. There's not many photographs of that exhibition, actually. Rijksmuseum is here on this side, a bit further. And you can see here, it looks much longer, you know, like it's going down.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And here in the distance, you see also the top of houses that are not there anymore. It's like this has been standing. And then around the corner here, that's, I can show you on this side, just remember that one. We go this way to the right, and there we get these buildings. And they said these were the first social housings. They built that as well during the same time.
Right.
Well, this house has quite a history, and I might give that as a bonus at the end. But look at
the road.
Yeah, exactly. Look at this road.
See, that's after a flooding.
Yeah, it looks more like they've been cleaning it up instead of building it. And this house was actually squatted in the late 70s, early 80s, and at the day of the crowning of Beatrix, the last queen we had, in the early mornings they drove a military tank inside it. So just remember that. I have images of that as well, or footage that they were doing that. It's like, wow, man. It escalated the whole place. Now here we have another beautiful gem. This is also like, you know, gone. The Rembrandt Theatre has quite a very strange history and very confusing with when it was built, when it was broken down, what came in the place. It was also been during the war, the Germans had taken it in their possession, but not sure if it was already the new building or not. I don't know. It was the cinema.
Do you think they're all the same age, or do you think they're different ages?
They say this was built later. I get the time of it now. This is a picture of 1909. I mean, look at the buildings. How beautiful that was. It's all gone. All gone. It's really sad. So beautiful. This was also on the same square. Now you cannot find a photograph with the right angle that you could see if that theater was there or not. It was a butter market at the time. Yeah, so where that was standing, I don't know. So it was a scene. This is the building. It was a cinema from, so this is the confusing thing. It was a cinema from 1902 till 1943. But this one is in its place from 1922 till 1986. So every time I was looking up information on the building, I got very confused about the name, the dates they give. It didn't really add up, so I need to really search for this, the history on this building specifically, what is going on there. Now, it was created by two architects. This David Breman, he had more buildings. The Willem Molenbroek is only one other building of known. I couldn't find anything else what he did. And this Evert guy, he also has this on his name. Also like a whole big list of buildings that he created. Like, really, you know, I don't believe it, because they are all different styles.
Yeah.
This one is on his name. Many other ones.
See that one there you've got? Is that one you've just gone on now? But that just looks a bit Mexican.
Yeah, but they're all different styles that he made. So it's like very unusual for an architect to change style, the same as the creepy dude. He also has many different things that have different styles. Then this is also on his name. It's in front of the central station. And I don't believe it at all, because this looks to me like a flutter. Like when you walk here, I couldn't really find a good photograph where you can see down. But it looks out of proportion as well. As if they built this door on it later. I think this might have been a door originally in the corner. That would make much more sense. But yeah, I don't know. I've got to go physically into the archives. Let's see. This is from the other dude. This is in Rotterdam, the White House. Rotterdam has been bombed in the Second World War, and this is one of the very few buildings that is still standing. I don't know Rotterdam, but if someone can look into the old archives of Rotterdam from before the Second World War, you will find one gem after the other, and they just, yeah, they took the whole of Rotterdam out. And this was by this one guy, the other dude.
Look at that.
It's you know, this is the only other building that he made.
Do you think that's a Zeppelin? The Zeppelins?
Could be on top, huh?
You know, they would sort of bring the Zeppelin and they'd land on there and then they could go down. What do you reckon?
Wouldn't surprise me at all. Wouldn't surprise me. But how is that for just an architect? You know, he has nothing else on his name, and it's the only place standing still in Rotterdam. Very, very questionable. There we have the here, oh, that's the other picture again. So they created this one together, the theater. Beautiful, beautiful old theater. And that is the butter market. So this is another angle of it. So I couldn't work out where this was standing, what church this is, and where the theater should be, if that was already there or not. So maybe they're right, you know, it's possible, but I do have my questions. And then we get to, oh yeah, that was broken, burned down. It has a very, very strange history. Very
what do you think happened there, Miriam?
This is the Rembrandt Theater, but I think this is the new one already, or the old one. So that's what I mean. It is very confusing what happened. What, you know, burned down the theater, then they built up the other one. Then the one is standing from a date that goes into the date of the other one. So I will have to find, I have to do a whole presentation on that, or dive into the archives of it, because I think it has a very interesting history. Yeah. And also what did the Germans do in there? Did it get bombed during the war? I don't know. I have no idea what happened there. But at least now there is an ugly thing in the place. Okay, now we get to the Dam Square, the palace on the dam. But I'm sitting already on the half. We do have another half. Shall we leave it here and make a part 3 for next week? What do you think? We're already like an hour in.
Would you like to do some more next week?
I think so. Let's do that. We do a part.
Look at that one though, Miriam. Look at those.
Yeah, so we have something else.
Do you think it looks a bit like Atlantis?
It looks like it, eh? Such beautiful buildings, and I've got photographs also of the inside of the palace, and then also the palace of Volksflag.
What is that little thing down there? They can push stuff on. It's right at the bottom of the picture. There's like, just put your arrow down. Go down from there. Just go right down. Look at that's it along there. By that man, it's like a barrow, but it's got handles on it.
Oh,
like
yeah. It's a wheelbarrow. Very primitive.
Yeah.
Very primitive compared to the buildings. Yeah. Very interesting, eh? So you remember?
I knew that Amsterdam was going to be a bit like that, but I didn't realise, you know, with you coming from there and you talking, it's amazing.
Yeah, well, there is so much about Amsterdam, but I just had yeah, I think the most, well, not the most interesting, but also like personal things where I have a personal.
Well, that's okay. We can pause. How many more pictures have you got to go?
We are now on 111, and then I have another 187 to go. No, sorry, another. I've got in total 187. And we're now on slide 111. And I might add a few more in between.
Sure, I don't mind having another hangout with you, Miriam.
Let's do that. Same date, same place, same time?
Same time, and now we know how to do it.
Great, yes, we do. Got the right microphone on it. Cool. Okay, I love this. And I
Well,
think this is
shall we
very
say
nice.
goodbye for the video and then say goodbye to
Yeah.
each other afterwards?
All right. Goodbye,
So,
everyone.
well, amazed as ever. Really enjoyed that. Thank you very much, Miriam.
It was a
And
pleasure.
we're turning it into 3 parts now.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe we'll add another one in the future.
Yeah,
There's so
amazing
much.
building though. Look, so is that Mercia time? You know, when I call it Mercia time.
Sorry, nursery time?
Mercia. No, it's like America without the A on it, and it's called Mercia.
Where do you see that?
No, it was what they said England was. I'm just saying
Okay.
that's what it reminds me of, those buildings. And I mean, they actually built, you know, they're just, I can't believe they stuck all this up in about a year or two.
Yeah, in short time. Well, these ones have a different history, of course. Here we get back into 17th century. But what we just saw, all these buildings, and there's more massive ornamental buildings, all built in the same decade. Like, right.
Like we started then, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we're going to do part 3. I'm very amazed. Thank you very much, Miriam. And thank you, chat room.
Thank you too. And we'll see you next week.
Mwah,
All right.
mwah,
Bye-bye.
thank you.